Live from WTOC, the Southeast news leader. The News Now starts on WTOC Plus.
We'd like to welcome you all to the news on WTOC Plus. I'm digital anchor Jude Binkley. Savannah police say one man was shot in the arm during an overnight shooting on West Congress Street. When officers arrived on scene around 2:30 this morning, they heard gunshots and discovered damage to buildings and a car in the area. They say it all started from a fight. Officers say the man went to a hospital to be treated for non-life-threatening injuries. This investigation is ongoing. In state news, today is a crucial day under the Gold Dome. It's crossover day at the Georgia State Capitol, which means bills have until the end of the day to pass in their starting chamber if they haven't done so already. Several key bills include data centers and property taxes, and some bills that didn't make the cut this week are being revived today ahead of the deadline. Right now, lawmakers in the House and Senate are making a final push to get their bill from one chamber to the other. Now, one of the biggest debates is about property taxes. A constitutional amendment that would lower homeowners' bills failed to pass in the House earlier this week, but lawmakers are reconsidering it right now. Other bills we're watching include an ICE legislation package and one about government universal health care and Medicaid coverage. So far, Senate lawmakers have passed a data center bill that would prevent utility costs associated with the facilities from being passed on to consumers. But some argue the bill doesn't do enough to protect communities from other potential impacts.
That intent is to ensure our ratepayers will not pay for upgrades and infrastructure for data centers.
We are essentially failing those that have sent us up here to control these kind of construction projects across the great state. This bill essentially gives the contractor carte blanche to build whatever they want to build in anybody's community.
And any bills that don't meet tonight's deadline will lose the opportunity to be passed during this year's 40-day legislative session. Turning now from the state capitol to the nation's capital, the firing of Kristi Noem as Secretary of Homeland Security marks President Trump's first removal of a cabinet secretary during his second term. It comes after months of controversy came to head during a Senate hearing this week. Members of both parties slammed the former South Dakota governor for everything from immigration enforcement tactics to a $200 million ad campaign. Weijia Jiang has the latest from the White House.
The 8th Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem.
Kristi Noem was introduced on stage in Nashville as Homeland Security Secretary, just over 20 minutes after President Trump named Noem Special Envoy for the Shield of Americas, a new coalition of Latin American countries. Noem made remarks without addressing the news.
We will need brave men and women who step up and serve.
But later on social media, Noem thanked Trump for her new position. An administration source tells CBS News replacing her was based on the culmination of her many unfortunate leadership failures, including the fallout after Noem falsely claimed 2 Americans killed by immigration officers in Minnesota both had committed acts of domestic terrorism. And this ad campaign featuring Noem.
If you are considering entering America illegally, don't even think about it.
That cost $220 million. This week, Noem was grilled about it during a hearing on Capitol Hill.
Correct.
Did the president know you were going to do this?
Yes.
He did?
Yes.
In an interview with Reuters, Trump said, "I never knew anything about it."
The president, when he called me Tuesday night, the night of the hearing, when he was mad as a murder hornet.
Trump has nominated his close ally, Senator Markwayne Mullin, a former Oklahoma rancher and undefeated mixed martial arts fighter, to be the new Homeland Security Secretary.
I am super excited about this opportunity. It came at not a complete surprise, but it came at a little bit of surprise for us.
Noem also faced allegations of an affair with her advisor and Trump's first campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, who is also leaving DHS. An administration source says that Noem's drama overshadowed and distracted from Trump's immigration agenda. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, the White House.
Back here in the Peach State, more than 15,000 students have been admitted to the University of Georgia's class of 2030. No phrase will make you feel old like that. UGA received more than 51,000 applications, and 15,400 students were accepted. Well, in economic news, a weaker than expected jobs report showed job losses in February and the unemployment rate rising as well. Economists say it's a warning sign for the U.S. economy, but there is some encouraging news for job seekers. Experts say March is historically the biggest month for hiring. CBS's Evan Mood spoke with a career expert about what exactly drives that spring surge and how to stand out in a competitive job market.
Employers cut 92,000 jobs in February, and the unemployment rate rose to 4.4%. Employers cut 92,000 jobs in February, and the unemployment rate rose to 4.4%.
This is an ugly jobs report, and it's ugly really across the board.
Bankrate senior economist Mark Hamrick says losses were seen across nearly all sectors, including 40,000 healthcare jobs weighed down by a nurses' strike.
The economy is facing a rough patch here, and we've seen inconsistent jobs creation going back to last summer.
But if you're hunting for a new gig, there may be opportunity ahead. March is historically the strongest month for hiring.
Now is an amazing time if you're a job seeker to get your materials ready, because we are going to hopefully see an increase in postings.
ZipRecruiter career expert Sam DeMace says a few factors drive the spring spike.
We have the bonus exodus that happens in March, where a lot of folks get their bonuses, and then we see career movement. So there's a lot of opportunities for new hires at companies. Another reason being hiring managers want to get their teams locked down and solidified and spend their budgets before the summer slowdown hits.
To stand out, DeMace has tips. First, for your resume and title.
Be a specialist, not a generalist. It is a specialist market right now. Be very specific about your skill sets and relate them back to the job.
New AI systems look for exact keyword matches.
And if you are tired of getting ghosted, DeMace says managers are now looking for more than just messages of enthusiasm or even coffee dates.
That is the old way. The new way is to share your value proposition. Hey, this is what I do well. Here's a problem that I know I can solve at your organization, and I just applied. Can we connect?
For those switching industries completely, confidence is key.
Don't apologize for missing experience. Own what makes you different and unique.
Despite the seasonal boost, DeMace says it remains a competitive market. So stay patient. Evan Moon, CBS News.
All right, well, we are just shy of 100 days until Georgia hosts its first FIFA World Cup match at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, and the city's planning to make the matches as environmentally friendly as possible. City leaders say when they applied about 7 years ago, they had to submit an environmental plan as well. And since 2023, that's been updated every year as the planning has continued. That goes hand in hand with Mercedes-Benz Stadium's goals. They were built to be one of the most sustainable sports venues in the world. Stadium leadership touts keeping 90% of all waste generated in a year out of landfills. Dawn Brown says the World Cup will be a challenge, but she says they accept that challenge as they look at new ideas.
We've got a lot of community collaborators, so as we think about banners and signage and all the things that are temporary for these events, how are we going to make sure that those things get recycled and composted and end up in not the landfill?
And panelists who spoke at the Benz this morning say the effort doesn't stop when FIFA and the fans leave. They say, if anything, they hope this jumpstarts additional sustainability initiatives in sports. All right, well, an iconic Savannah nightclub will be moving to a new spot. Club One announced their official relocation from Jefferson Street to 301 Williamson Street. The iconic gay bar opened its doors in 1988, becoming a staple in Savannah's LGBTQ community. The new location is only one street over from their current location. The venue says this move is in conjunction with their new relationship with the Pride Holdings Group family. After decades of use, the club's manager says it's time for an update.
What makes Club One, apart from the customers, is our programming, our burlesque shows, our cabaret shows, our comedy shows, our theater shows. Those are all here to stay.
The new location may be familiar to locals as it's the former home of Ellen, the performance and event venue that closed back in November of 2024. All right, well, get ready to spring forward. Daylight savings time starts this Sunday. The time change could take a toll on your health. Michelle Darrup with the Cleveland Clinic says this time shift can lead to a rise in cardiovascular effects and sleep disruptions that could impact your mood.
We just want to be cautious if you're driving in those early mornings after the time change. Sometimes people may decide like, okay, I'm going to, on that Monday morning, I'm not going to schedule anything that takes, a lot more focus or high kind of, attention tasks.
Darrup says you should prepare before the time by gradually adjusting bedtime and wake time. It's also key to maximizing light exposure in the morning. All right, well, from springing forward to spring in the air in Savannah, the city's Bee City initiative is buzzing with excitement for this weekend. Bee City Savannah is teaming up with the Forsyth Farmers Market to host the Pollinator Palooza Spring Festival. It's tomorrow at the park from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. This free, family-friendly event celebrates the tiny heroes helping support our local ecosystems and put food on our tables. There will be building bee hotels, painting pots, and learning to plant for pollinators, as well as a nature-inspired Pilates session. It's all about getting up close with these pollinators and inspiring folks to become lifelong advocates. All right, and with that, we're going to wrap things up this afternoon for the news on WTOC Plus. Want to wish you all a happy Friday. Thanks for making us part of it. Do want to bring up a quick programming note, as coming up at 7 o'clock, we'll have the Greening of the City live right here on WTOC and WTOC Plus. We had the Greening of the Fountain here on WTOC Plus earlier. I rarely wear a tie here, but I figured I'd break out a green tie for the occasion. So we've got a very special edition of the news at 7 this evening. We hope you all join us for it. Really kicking off the season of St. Patrick right here in the Coastal Empire and Low Country. So can't wait for that newscast. Until then, you can always check our website for the latest updates and news. I would like to thank you all for watching, and we're going to send it on over to Local News Live.